Well, if you may, we have a lot of, I'll use the classrooms as an example. We have a lot of classrooms in this district, and I think if we think back to all the budget presentations we've heard from the schools, they'll try to replace 1 or 2 classrooms worth of furniture every year. To me, that's an ongoing expense. We don't replace the same classroom furniture year after year. We rotate through the building. So if a building's got 20 or 30 classrooms, continuing replacing is just upkeep, in my mind.
As things get worn out over time, they are replaced.
Yes, it's wear and tear and replacing things that break, and
Yeah.
I mean, we could remove all equipment, because let's face it, you know, we may replace a chair this year. We don't replace the same chair next year, we replace the one that just broke. So
That's right.
that's routine.
I believe the law is to provide the taxpayer with the ability to stop spending on buying another new chair.
That's maintenance.
It's new equipment, new things.
Actually,
No,
it
it's,
isn't.
no, it's,
Replacement.
no, it's not.
It's-
It's absolutely not.
The intent of the law, Mrs. Green, is to maintain the operation of the school district equivalent to the last time the voters spoke.
Right.
It's a formula to keep things running the same as we have been.
So we
So we
need,
we could strip out all sorts of crazy things, every piece of equipment, and we don't use the same drop of oil. So, you know, do we not buy oil, heating oil? We don't burn the same gallon of oil, we buy another one to keep the place heated.
so
You know,
what
we can go
about,
to ridiculous places.
and my point is that there is a lot in here. By the way, capital improvements should be taken out of the default budget.
What capital improvements?
Well, okay, before I get to that, let
Oh,
me.
you're talking about the 4,000 accounts? Again, that's maintenance.
No, they're
That's
actual,
maintaining
no,
our facilities.
no. If we replace a roof, we're not replacing a second roof we're not replacing the same roof the next year.
Realize how many roofs we have and how many boilers we have? If we don't routinely keep those things in service, let me read you from the state chart of
Yes, I have.
accounts. How they describe that account. If I can, Mr. Bealow, I'm sorry, I know you're
Absolutely.
under a time limit, but. I'm sure you're talking about the 4,000 accounts. Let me read the description of 4,600.
Okay,
Activities concerned with building additions, I don't recall any additions in the budget, and with installing or extending service systems and other built-in equipment. That's maintenance. We're keeping the buildings in a good operating state, the way they were last year, hopefully the way they are next year. We're just maintaining our facilities.
it says building improvement services, 965,800. The 4,600.
That's right. We
Building
fix a bathroom this year, we
improvement
fix another bathroom
services.
next year. We fix a roof this year, we fix another roof next year.
No,
It's
that-
ongoing maintenance.
And which is why the taxpayers lose faith in our district, because our budgets, our default budgets are higher than our proposed budgets. This is exactly the root of the lack
I
of
think they want us
faith
to
with our
maintain
taxpayers.
what they've already invested in.
Site improvement, 4,200, site improvement. 349,000 should be removed from that. That is improvement, not maintenance.
It's repaving parking lots that are already paved, so that people don't trip and sue us and things like that.
Yes, well, you can fix potholes under your maintenance, but this is
And we can keep
replacement.
patching roofs, too.
Okay,
I'm not finished
you're
yet. I
easily
can
over
go-
3 minutes. I'm
I-
going to Rob first, and then we'll come back to you unless somebody else has a comment.
No, I mean,
Go around.
Mrs. Green said she had a list of specific things. I think if we wanted to hear that, I guess we could hear that. But to get into this philosophical discussion, I think is kind of silly, because I think Mr. Stokinger has it spot on. He's been doing this for, I don't know how many years, but and I've heard him say that a number of times. It makes complete sense to me, what we're doing.
And again, I can't speak for other towns, but I've, lived in Plastow for 35 odd years, and they have been odd years. And quite a few years, our default budget is either right at or just slightly above.
And if I could add, that this is a symptom of the enrollment decreasing. So year over year, the operations decrease in cost. So if you go by the definition of the default budget, you take last year's budget plus or minus contractual services, minus the one-time items, and that moves forward as the default. But because we're shrinking, the default is bigger than the proposed. And that's just how, that's a symptom of the environment we're in right now.
Mr. Stokinger, I'd just like your assurance that there are no one-time purchases from last year that are exact purchases that are included in this default. I'll get
Yes.
to you guys in a second.
I removed the Sandown North Field.
Yep.
I reduced the phone system cost from, this year we put in a phone system in Pollard. We're doing the last school, which is Sandown Central. I adjusted that cost down. Some of the larger things, we talk about library books. So the libraries buy a few new books every year. I mean, those routine things are in default. The significant, truly one-time items are not. I reduced Mr. Henderson's budget for the one-time costs of some implementation that's in this year's budget but not in next year's budget. Those unique one-time costs I did remove. The routine things are in the default.
Dan, then Greg, Stephanie, and Donna.
Just to reinforce that, the only one time that I know of right off the top of my head was Pollard's Playground. Is that one removed? That was this year, right?
I think there's something in next year. There's an Atkinson one, so again, it's like a roof, we've just kind
Okay.
of moved.
Okay.
From place to place.
Greg?